In this video, I'm going to show you how to place the passenger side outer lower tie rod on this Ford F-350. You do need an alignment after this job is performed, so keep that in mind. Let's get started. If your wheels have some center caps like these, or lug nut covers I should say, then you're going to want to remove them. Use a pry bar and find the slot that allows you to pry these off. Pull it off the rest of the way, and then you can use a 21mm socket and remove all 8 lug nuts that hold the wheel on, and then of course remove the wheel. Let's remove the cotter pin that locks this mounting nut in. Hopefully yours isn't seized in there. A lot of times that happens. I'm going to use some cutters and pull it through. Use a 21mm socket and remove this mounting nut. That little washer wasn't really supposed to come off, but that's okay. I'm going to put this right back on and now hammer right here, and that should break this tie rod free from the stud that actually goes up through to this upper tie rod. All right, remove the mounting nut the rest of the way. All right, on this lower outer tie rod there will be 2 clamps, a little one over here and a larger one here. We have to loosen up both so we can remove this. Use a 12mm socket and loosen this mounting nut up. You don't necessarily have to remove it. This one came off, so I'll just take it off. Using a hammer, tap the bolt through. But what you really need to do is get this clamp to move out of the way. All right, with that one moved out of the way, we can work on this larger one. Use a 15mm socket and loosen this up. Tap this clamp to break it free. Push this clamp further up the adjusting sleeve. And this will make it so that we can stick a pry bar in here, open this split up, and free up our tie rod. The threads are most likely going to be fairly stuck on there. You want to look through this split and see where the tie rod threads end. Mine are right about here, so I'm going to stick the pry bar in over here so it can actually do something before it bottoms out. Okay, this opened up. And as you can see, freed up our tie rod. Count the amount of turns it takes to remove this so that when we put it back, we get close to a good alignment. Once again, you do need an alignment done after this repair is performed because it will not be accurate, but at least that's going to make it so the wheels are somewhat parallel so you can drive to the alignment place. Also keep in mind, these threads right here on the passenger side are counterclockwise or left-handed threads. So you're going to want to thread it to the right or clockwise in order to remove the tie rod, otherwise you'll be pushing it in further. "22 turns for me, and there's the tie rod. Inside of this adjusting sleeve on the threads, I'm going to apply some anti-seize. You could use grease if that's what you have, but you want this so that the threads don't corrode and get stuck in the future, especially since this is split and water will get in for sure. I'm also going to coat the threads of the tie rod just lightly. Remember, this is left-handed thread, so turn it to the left to thread it in and put it back the same amount of turns it took to remove it. And that's it right there, so I'm going to remove my pry bar. This should make it clamp down on the threads and somewhat lock them in. I mean, it's still going to spin, but it's not going to flop around. Get this sleeve turned around so it can go over this bracket, which by the way is already installed and tightened up. And then we're going to have to tighten this up right over here to clamp down on the threads. Snug up this mounting nut. And we'll torque it to 41 foot-pounds. That's it right there. Bring in the lower outer tie rod and reconnect it. Put on the mounting nut. Snug this up. And we'll torque this to 85 foot-pounds. This being a castle nut, you have to continue tightening until the next slot lines up for the cotter pin. Never loosen no matter how close it is. So I'm going to go a little bit further. And that right there is perfectly lined up for me. So let's put the cotter pin through, slide it in, and bend it over to lock it in. Let's get the wheel back on. Start on all 8 lug nuts, bottom them out in a cross pattern, and also in a cross pattern, torque them to 165 foot-pounds. $165 in a cross pattern, here we go. Double check them if you want. I know that mine are tight. So put the cover back on if your truck had it. Job is done. Don't forget to get in alignment.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.